Welcome to Sleepy Hollow. Before I show you Sleepy Hollow, let me show you what we did before Sleepy Hollow.
If you haven't seen the previous video about the Breakers Mansions and the Kerosene Lantern tours in Sleepy Hollow's cemetery, then click the link above.
So we decided to go on the last hour that this is open to Fort Adams, and I was hoping it was the Revolutionary War because hopefully I'm going to be dressing up as a British soldier this Halloween, but it's not, sadly, and it's the Civil War.
Fort Adams opens from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. and you can get guided tours for 75 minutes that will explain the history, design, and the restoration of the fort.
Fort Adams often was dubbed the country club of the Army, especially by those officers and enlisted men who were assigned to it after duty in foreign areas, and its peacetime background was dotted with stories of high society and Army brass entertaining.
Fort Adams is a former United States Army post in Newport, Rhode Island that was established on July 4th, 1799, as a first system coastal fortification.
The West Wall. As you continue clockwise around the parade field, you come to the West Wall. This wall was the fort's principal defense against naval vessels seeking to enter the harbor. It was designed to mount 117 cannon on 3 tiers. At the north end of this wall, there is a sign explaining how each tier worked together to devastate enemy vessels.
Named for President John Adams, who was at the time in office. Its first commanding officer was Captain John Henry, who was later instrumental in starting the War of 1812. The current Fort Adams was built between 1824 and 1857 under the third system of coastal forts. The guide will take from the top of the fort's walls to the depth of the underground tunnels. There are also self-guided tours that you can take to wander around the 6.5-acre parade field and several areas of the fort that are unrestored. Fort Adams also hosts reenactments of the Civil War in the parade field, so make sure you check their calendar for upcoming events. At this point of the evening, we started to get hungry, so we used good old Google to look for the best clam chowder near us. Nestled along the picturesque waterfront of Newport, Rhode Island, Bowen's Wharf stands as a timeless testament to maritime history and a beacon of coastal charm. Bowen's Wharf features a storied history that dates back to the 18th century. Originally a bustling hub for maritime commerce, the wharf played a pivotal role in Newport's rise as a prominent seaport. Newport Chowder Company boasts to have the best clam chowder in the world, and they might as well have.
Awesome.
Today, visitors can wander through cobblestone streets and check out the diverse range of shops, boutiques, restaurants, cafes, and galleries. Now we head back to Sleepy Hollow. Sleepy Hollow is a village in the town of Mount Pleasant in Westchester County, New York, United States. The village is located in the east bank of the Hudson River, about 20 miles north of New York City. Originally was named Slappershaven or Sleeper's Haven in the 17th century. Later it was renamed to North Tarrytown to draft off the town's success during the Industrial Revolution. And in 1996 was renamed again to Sleepy Hollow, paying tribute to Washington Irving's famous story Sleepy Hollow. The town hosts a lot of events, especially around Halloween, where someone dresses as the Headless Horseman. You can enjoy walking through the town and visit local shops, stores, and restaurants. Kykwit, known as John D. Rockefeller Estate, is a 40-room historic house museum in Pocantico Hills. There are a few tours that you can take which show you around the mansion's rooms, plus allow you to see the outside gardens. Don't make the mistake we made. We were actually kicked out because you have to buy the tour which takes you on a bus to the estate. On our way to the famous Metropolitan Museum, we decided to take a short stop at Yale University's library.
We're
in the Library of Rare Books. There's some from 1400s. I'm trying to find one that's earlier than that, though.
On view, they have videotapes of the Holocaust survivors, most of whom are dead now, and just going through some of their stories is extremely depressing of what they had to endure. Something we need to never forget.
Finally, we went back to New York City and checked out the humongous Met Museum.
So we are at the Met Museum and we're going to go look at the rest of the instruments.
We instantly found our way to the music galleries, where you can see the oldest extant piano, a Ming Dynasty pipa, an important American pipe organ, various Persian instruments, Stradivarius violins, and much more.
It's pretty though. I like it. Well, you can see all the damage done right there. So this right behind me is the first piano ever built by Cristofori. It looks a lot like a harpsichord, obviously, but it can do dynamics.
One instrument in particular caught our eyes. It's a fully golden harpsichord being carried by sea nymphs and tritons. It depicts the story of the triumph of Galatea. Two figures depict the narrative of the Cyclops Polyphemus' unrequited love for the nymph Galatea.
It's the one and only Alexander Hamilton. Okay, so the painting here right behind me is not in its original frame, so it's a reproduction of the original frame, though that's pretty noticeable because of how bright in color it is. The painting itself was actually painted in 1851. The painting itself has a little bit of historical inaccuracies, so it's not actually the original, what I say, but that's 1851. This is probably like 70, 80, 90 years after this happened. And it depicts when they were crossing the Delaware River to attack the Hessians on the other side.
Yeah. To create our own nation. Well said. And to do our own thing with the English language.
Our own thing, sir?
Next, we head to the armory display and found what was probably the largest suit in the room. Made for a particularly large man who was crippled with gout and was nearing the end of his life. If you guess correctly, it is the notorious King Henry VIII, also the man who killed 2 of his 6 wives. Wow, that's a very great look. The suit would have been constructed for use on horse and foot, and was most likely used during the king's last military campaign, or the Siege of Boulogne in 1544. Elsewhere in the room you can see other suits for knights from various different countries around the world. The history of the Met Museum begins in the 1800s, where a group of Americans, including philanthropists, artists, and businessmen, with the same goal of creating a national institution that would inspire and educate the public, came together and established the museum, which was founded in 1870. The museum's permanent collection consists of works of art ranging from the ancient Near East and ancient Egypt, through classical antiquity to the contemporary world. It includes paintings, sculptures, and graphic works from many European old masters, as well as an extensive collection of American, modern, and contemporary art. The Met also maintains holdings of African, Asian, Oceanian, Byzantine, and Islamic art.
I want a lamppost.
Here, let's walk in there. That's cool.
No, we need to go that way though.
The museum is also home to encyclopedic collections of musical instruments, costumes, decorative arts, and textiles, as well as antique weapons and armor from around the world. Several notable interiors ranging from 1st century Rome to modern American designs are also installed in its galleries.
I love this area. I would take all the furniture if I could. Look at this.
So what chance this guy is British? This is a temple of a priestess who basically visited this. What I find interesting about this is that you can see there are carvings of numbers. Egyptians did not invent numbers. Pretty sure it was the Indus Valley that did the numbers. I may be incorrect. Please do not correct me on that. But they're different years, and I'm going to suppose that this was still around then. Obviously it was, well,
In the 1820s.
in the 1820s.
Thank you for watching our channel, and please subscribe, leave a comment below, and ring the bell for our next video notification. We'll see you next weekend, guys.